This is a topic I think is going to be really fun to do. Not that I don't love every topic we do, but sometimes I'll put it down and I'm like, okay, we can do that, whatever. Sometimes it's something I think Carter will enjoy more than me. This is one I'm like licking my chops at. Like this is going to be spicy. Some people are going to get mad at this one, and it's going to be a fun thought exercise, I think. I want to come up with our list of the top 10 cultures in college basketball.
Okay. Okay.
Culture is a buzzword. It can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. We're not trying to overstep any boundaries here, but people with certain programs, I don't want to name them because I don't want to get to some of the teams we're going to talk about, but there are programs that preach culture. There are programs that brag about their culture. The culture you come here for is just different. It's not money, it's not playing time, it's not other. This is our culture. Come here. That's what I'm after. Now, there are also programs who I think would say their culture is paying players and making them NBA players at some point. So there's a lot of different ways we can go about this. It's going to ultimately be up to us to try and define what we think the criteria is. But I want a list of 10 teams, 1 to 10 in order, that have the 10 best cultures in college basketball.
And this is like it's. I guess actually I'll just wait till we do it, and I'll ask my question based upon who I want to have on the list, and you can let me know if it doesn't count or not.
Okay. Okay. All right. Should we just get to it?
I mean, Michigan State has to be one, right?
Do you think they're number one?
Sadly, yes. Like I love poking fun at Michigan State. I love nothing more than reminding Cart that Michigan won the Big Ten tournament whenever he like talks about his banner. I love pointing that out.
They were asking for John Tonji's autograph, by the way. That's what they were doing. But there were banners still to be won. People forget that. You can win more than one banner in a season.
But I do think it's Michigan State.
Give me the pitch on why, because they're definitely on the list. They're definitely in the top five, maybe even the top three. I was actually going to nominate them first if you didn't, so it's a totally fair nomination. However, I think there will be a few other handful of programs that also have quote unquote elite cultures that would argue theirs over Michigan State's. To name a few, not to hint our next order, but some that I think will come up soon here. Houston's got to be around. UConn's got to be around. Duke has to be around. I think Purdue has to be around. And then it might open up from there. There's other teams worthy of this as well. But I think all four of those would at least make an argument. Our culture is more special than Michigan State's. Why to you is Michigan State number one on the list?
So my top three are Michigan State, Calipari, Duke. And the reason I say that is the reason I say that is you never actually leave the program. And the same could probably be said for Houston. The same could probably be said for UConn. The same could be said for Purdue. But I mean, Draymond Green is going on year like, I don't know, whatever, it's 13, 14 in the league. He still comes for grind week. Duke did their thing. You saw the players that showed up. Granted, a lot of they did the one and done thing later, so some of them are a lot younger, but still, right? Like Nolan Smith, all of them are still involved in the program. John Shire's the coach, and he played in like the 2000s, right? So, um, and then with Calipari, they still continue to be involved in the program. That connection to a school is something that I think supersedes what happens in your anywhere from 1 to 4 years on campus.
So I think you're right. However, I think it disqualifies Arkansas because ultimately we're after the school. We're after the list of the school
Sure.
names. So we could put Kentucky on the list and say that there's still culture-based things that have superseded Calipari, or we could put Arkansas on the list under that's Calipari's current culture. But I think my argument would be that's nowhere to be found right now. You're totally right about it,
Yeah.
but can't rank him on the
Well,
list.
I wouldn't rank them based on the school. I would rank Kentucky because I think Kentucky, like, that's the biggest program in college basketball. And
Kentucky will be here somewhere for sure. Yeah.
it's very clear. The one I was going to ask you about, I wasn't sure if this counts. Louisville, I think Pat Kelsey has the most endearing culture in college basketball at the moment, him or Pope, to be honest with you. But he just started, so I don't know if that counts.
The Kenny Payne years are still lingering on my mind, to be honest. Like empty stadium, fans totally disappeared. I don't know. I think Kelsey is kind of going his own personal, individualistic route right now, too.
Yeah.
So, no disrespect to Louisville fans, but I wouldn't consider that like a family culture we come back to. Even the Rick Pitino years at Louisville have some icky connotation to it at this point. So, I think they're off my list. I'm okay with Michigan State. Like, just let me do some rival fan praise for a second. The grind week stuff they do is genuinely awesome. It's incredible. The way their stars and even role players have come back and invested time, effort, relationships with Tom Izzo. It's nothing short of magnificent. It's unique. I don't think anybody else can match it. So I'm fine with Michigan State at one. Um, who would you argue is two then if it's not Calipari?
Duke, Duke. Yeah, I think Duke 2, Purdue 3, Houston 4 would probably be my top four.
Duke two, Houston three.
Not Purdue 3, then Houston 4.
Why Purdue ahead of Houston? And why
Um,
also Kentucky at this point? Kentucky's dropping on the list if we're talking culture.
Kentucky's at 5 for me. And it has nothing to do with the program or the school. I think individually that's the biggest program in college basketball. I think Pope's doing things so different than Calipari. It's kind of the same argument with like Arkansas, Pat Kelsey, so on and so forth, that like a few years from now, I think Kentucky will be one, but like it just has to kind of play itself out a little bit.
Kind of recovering from the disruption that was the Cal era. And
Yeah.
that's a totally different culture than this culture.
Yeah, so it's just like it's still loading, I guess you could say. But I would have them 5 because that's clearly the biggest program in college basketball. I mean, it's $600 tickets for an exhibition against Purdue.
So I want to make one argument here. I think UConn should be two. And I think
Okay.
it's because I've seen it close up when we were at the Final Four interviewing a bunch of alumni. Like the way UConn alums carried themselves versus other players that came through. UConn alums came in and were just like, I don't know, like it was so about winning and like familiarity with success. And there was this camaraderie behind like I don't know, like we acknowledge each other and we invest in each other because we're winners. And that's what you do at UConn. And you come back and you are praised and you're celebrated once you enter the circle of winning. I think that matters. And I think it's unique given how many different eras have won at UConn. I mean, they've had three different coaches win a national championship since I've been alive, which is crazy. So I would argue UConn is two and Michigan State is one.
I like that. I mean, shout out Kevin Ollie.
Shout out Kevin Ollie. And then I'm fine putting Duke three. Obviously, the Brotherhood is special, special culture. And when you lose a coach like Coach K and don't skip a beat, that means something. Michigan State one, UConn two, Duke three. We're going Purdue four.
I want to bump Kentucky ahead of Houston. I don't think Kentucky should be outside the top 5.
Purdue four, Kentucky five, Houston six.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. All
When
right.
do you say North Carolina?
I was going to ask when do we get to them? I feel like, I mean, what about Kansas? But Kansas is kind of history versus culture to me. But
Yeah,
like,
I don't know
what is Kansas's culture?
That's what I was gonna ask. I don't know what Kansas's culture is other than like we have a really good coach and like recruits want to play for us, which is sick. I mean, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Right. Any other shouts? Like, what other nominations? Gonzaga feels like they have a culture to me at this point.
Yeah, Gonzaga, North Carolina.
You're
Um,
pushing UNC pretty hard.
I think you have to have UNC on the list. Like historic, like that Carolina Blue is always gonna hit. Unfortunately, like you could have anybody as the coach, and you just throw the Carolina Blue in them, it's gonna hit.
In the Hubert Davis era, though, that's North Carolina's culture. They got a top 10 culture under Hubert Davis right now.
But we're talking about is it just right now or is it like in the history?
I don't know. I feel like it's like history is part of culture, but I feel like it's almost two different things here. Are we arguing history or are we arguing like what does a program stand for? What are their principles? What's their mission statement, you know?
I think the combination of the two UNC's in on. If it's just history, the list might start with UNC. If it's just right now, they might be at the bottom of it.
All right, I'm okay putting UNC 7 then. Houston was 6, UNC 7. Who else? I mentioned Gonzaga.
St. John's,
I don't think I'm putting St. John's anywhere near this. Florida, anything to you or no?
it's really new. I'm gonna be honest, like it's
They
really
had
new.
like the Horford Noah years, but that again feels more like history than a culture.
In Horford Noah, like it feels like yesterday to me because like that was like what I grew up watching, but I was also in like middle school when that happened.
Can I make a case for what I would do as the final three spots here?
Yeah, what are they?
Kansas, Gonzaga, and then I think it's either Marquette or Tennessee.
Would I be reaching if I asked for Wisconsin? Would I be reaching?
I thought about Wisconsin. I did think about Wisconsin, but I don't want to acknowledge their culture.
That's fair.
But it is a pretty good culture. So,
That's fair. I would
but
go
here's
Tennessee.
my pick. Tennessee, I think I don't know. At this point, like it's kind of just Rick Barnes' MO. It's kind of Houston light what they've become. I think Marquette, Shaka does a lot of the same things that Izzo does and Painter does. And then I think Kansas speaks for itself. Gonzaga speaks for itself to an extent. So I'd choose three of those four, or if you want to put Wisconsin as a fifth nomination too, I'm okay with that.
Now, I think Kansas, Gonzaga, Tennessee. I like that to round out.
Kansas 8, Gonzaga 9, Tennessee 10.
Sneaky though, I wouldn't hate swapping St. Mary's for Gonzaga.
Oh, that'd be spicy a little bit, I think. But
That would
yeah,
be very
Uh,
spicy.
honorable mentions to me, I do think like St. Mary's, Iowa State probably deserves a shout. Wisconsin, uh, who was the other one I just was camping for?
Marquette.
Marquette. Yeah, those would be my nominees. But okay, top 10 cultures. Michigan State, UConn, Duke, Purdue, Kentucky, Houston, North Carolina, Kansas, Gonzaga, Tennessee. How far down do we have to go until we get to Michigan? Pretty
This year,
far down,
pretty far
right?
down. A few
Yeah.
years from now, probably not very far at all.
Where's Illinois on the list?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. What is Illinois' culture, though? I feel like it changes every year. That's the thing.
Chaos. I think it's chaos.
Then they're right at the top. Then they're doing that phenomenal.
They do it really well, right? Yeah. This was a fun exercise. Hard to define, hard to come up with tangible things to give scores to on culture.